So today we're going to talk about Austin. Austin was a great student. He had good grades, but just a great kid. Just a kid you really wanted to help. You wanted to see him really achieve his potential and really fulfill his goals. So we worked with Austin quite a bit on everything. And we were able to really help him kind of get to that next level. So Austin was a good soccer player. He came in, as did several of his teammates, and we started working on test prep to get his score up, and we were looking at colleges and potential majors, and he reiterated that he really wanted to play soccer in college. And like many of his teammates, he already had been shown some interest from Division III schools. So for those who may or may not know, we'll kind of go through a little education process here on the different divisions. So the NCAA has 3 divisions. Division I is considered their top division. Division I is the most selective. Division I is the most difficult to achieve playing time or to even be recruited. Division I has some programs that are what we call fully funded. For instance, if you're a Division I football player, you are going to school and not paying a dime in tuition, which is a great thing. Same with basketball, but those are the only 2 programs that are fully funded in Division I sports for sure. Some other schools have some programs that are fully funded, but football and basketball in Division I you can count on. So he had been looking at Division III. Division III is kind of the lowest rung in the NCAA ladder as far as playing opportunities. And when I say that, I don't mean it's lesser than or that students shouldn't take advantage of a Division III opportunity. The challenge with Division III, though, becomes there's no athletic scholarship money. Typically, those schools do offer good academic scholarship money, but without athletic scholarship money on the line, you're really counting on the coach's word that you're going to get playing time. And the coach has an obstacle to overcome because they need to fill their team, their squad, their roster, and they can't offer money. So they entice students by telling them, oh, I can definitely see you playing and so forth. And I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying that often it's misinterpreted that like, oh, I'm guaranteed to play as a freshman, and that's not the case usually. So I personally feel like when a student has the guarantee of there's some money behind it, some scholarship behind it, the coach then has a little bit more of a vested interest in making sure that kid gets on the field. Because otherwise they're kind of answering to the school, like, why are we paying this kid to sit on the bench? And you've got other kids who are playing who we're not even offering athletic scholarships to. Let's say in the case of a walk-on or another kid who is recruited but without money and proves that they're capable of being on the field. So Division III can be a challenge because sometimes you may show up and there may be 12 other people in your position because the coach did a great job in recruiting for that position. Division I, you're probably going to sit the bench your freshman year because it is at the very highest level. And Division II can be a really nice cross between the two. And just for clarification, Divisions I, II, and III are not based on size. Everyone thinks like, oh, Division I are the biggest schools. Often they are, but it is not based on size. It is based on the school's agreement with the NCAA on how many scholarships they will provide across the board, men and women, all sports. So Austin wanted to go to a Division II school. He wanted to know he would get the opportunity to play as a freshman, even if just a little bit. He also wanted to know that a coach had given him some scholarship money, that a coach felt that strongly about him, that he was going in kind of with the understanding that they expected him to play. And I feel like that's a great opportunity for a student. Division II tends to be a little bit easier as far as the amount of time you're going to put in. Division I, it is year-round. You could have a fall sport, but you are theirs year-round for workouts and playing and so forth. Division II, you are still going to be doing things year-round, but it's just a little bit less stringent than Division I. And Division III has less requirements as far as your time throughout the course of the year for your sport. So he wanted to go Division II, but didn't know how to make that happen. He hadn't gotten any information from Division II coaches. No one had really shown an interest in him. So we showed Austin how to find the right school, how to get recruited. And we did that by looking at where were Austin's strengths. Where would he likely fit in? We talked to his soccer coach and we asked him, where could you see him playing? What type of school? And based on this cumulative information, we looked at different programs. We helped Austin create a series of emails to reach out to coaches. Often, kids don't like to be vulnerable. They don't like to put themselves on the line. And if they reach out to a coach and the coach doesn't get back to them, kids are very hesitant to reach out again. Oh, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to be a pest. When in fact, the coach is busy. He's got a lot of other things on his plate, and you do need to kind of reach out to him again. You need to be at the top of that email box so that the coach says, oh yeah, I've seen that name before. I've got to get back to him. Really important, and without prompting, a lot of students won't do that. And you know how it is, parents. A lot of times your child is like, no, mom, it's okay. You don't know. And it's a tough position to be in as a 16, 17, 18-year-old because you still have that fear of rejection. What if that coach says, no, I'm sorry, you're not good enough for our team? And that can happen. And what we tell students all the time is, if it's not an individual sport, golf, your scores are your scores. You're either good enough to be in the top 5 on the team or you're not. Swimming, your times are your times. You're either good enough or you're not. But for team sports, it's a lot bigger challenge because you may have played for a really bad team, but you may be outstanding in your position, or you may have played for a really good team, and maybe that made you feel a little bit more confident than what other coaches are seeing in your personal development in that role. So you need to know what a coach is looking for. For instance, let's take football because that's a general sport most people really understand and know about. If you are a passing quarterback and you love to throw the ball and you've got a great arm, but the school you're looking at, the coach really likes the running game. The coach wants to be on the ground, pounding away, getting your 4 or 5 yards every play and doing it that way. Doesn't matter how good your arm is. You're not the player for them. Doesn't mean you're not good enough to play for them. It just means you're not the style of player. And that's super important to realize when you're talking about football or basketball or soccer, those team sports where they have an image of what they want. And so, it's a really good opportunity when you're thinking about a particular school. We always go through the rosters. Are kids in your position the same size? Are they about the same height, the same weight? What grade are they in? Are they likely to be leaving the school soon because they're seniors and you would be able to come in that role? If coaches know that they're going to be losing seniors in a certain position, they're going to be recruiting at least a year in advance for that position because they want time to train those players in their formations, in their playbook, so to speak. They want to have that training before those seniors are gone. So it's really important that you're doing all this legwork and your child, never the parent, is reaching out to the coaches and getting in front of them and doing this with multiple different media. And we do that all the time for players. So with Austin, we were looking for a school that had the major he wanted and then who had a soccer program that he was likely to fit into. And then we really targeted at a Division I soccer school. And she was a good player, had nice skills, but she was not a prototypical Division I player. She was so undersized for that role. And I said, what makes you think that? And she said it was because the coach referred to her as, oh, meet our new recruit, to one of the soccer players they were passing as they crossed the campus. And so she took that like, I'm being recruited, when in fact she wasn't being recruited in that role. Now, on the upside, she did play 4 years of soccer at a Division II school and a perfect school for her. So it all worked out in the end. But it's important to understand that, because had she assumed, had she not spoken with me, had we not discussed it, she may have put all her eggs in that basket thinking she was truly being recruited at that school and not pursued anything else. So it's important to understand what coaches are telling you. So with Austin, as he spoke with coaches, we would talk about what they said, where they talked about him being on their recruiting chart, when offers of money came in. And we pushed for him being able to get both money for soccer, for athletics, and academic money, so that he got a better package from the school, making it that much more affordable. Now, Austin knew he had his work cut out for him, because while he did get soccer money and they were looking for him to play, coming in as a freshman, you got to work hard to earn that playing time. You've got to be better than kids who have been there a year, 2, 3, and really know the system. And he did that. He proved to the coach that he needed to be out there for the betterment of the team. And, you know, there were tough moments in there. And I've had players contact me in the first 2 or 3 weeks of playing in college where they are beside themselves. They feel like there's nothing they can do right. They were the top dog in their high school program, in their club program, in their AAU program. And now all of a sudden, they're the freshmen again. And no matter how good they were before, it's a whole new world against bigger, stronger, faster adults who have been doing this for a while. And, you know, helping a student make that transition and kind of talk them off the ledge once they're there and like, you know, no, just keep pushing at it. And Austin earned a ton of playing time. He was on the field as a contributor throughout his freshman year and really, really loved not only the opportunity he had to play soccer, but also the school that he's attending. With COVID, his sophomore year has been a complete difference, but he's still there, still working hard, still able to continue to make great gains and do, you know, participate in the sport he loves, which is a chance not a lot of kids get. And I find, parents, it's really important to note that a lot of times students during their junior year, especially as they're getting a little bit closer to the end of their junior year, they'll say, you know what, I've decided I don't want to play. I just want to focus on academics. I don't want to play. Let me tell you, my years of experience, that is often a reaction to a coach not have contacting them. It's often a reaction to, well, gosh, I haven't heard from anybody. I must not be able to play at that next level, so I'm just going to give up that dream. And that's not the case. Outside of those big Division I schools, you know, your Division II schools are so money constrained, you know, to go out and do recruiting visits and so forth. They're often waiting for kids to let them know, yes, you would be a good fit. They're waiting to hear from those students who want to attend their schools. And so it is so very important that your child is reaching out and reaching out early. You know, I joke with kids all the time, there's nobody who can't tell me what's on a McDonald's menu, because we hear their commercials all the time, right? Every 45 seconds, I'm hearing about a quarter pounder, a Big Mac, filet of fish, whatever it is. I'm hearing about it. And it becomes like, oh yeah, I know exactly what it is. You need to be like that to college coaches. They need to know about you. They need to know you really want to attend their school, that it's not, I've written every single coach in the land hoping somebody gets back to me. And again, coaches are busy and they do have very limited recruiting budgets. So they don't have money to show up randomly at a game in hopes that there's a player they like, a player that fits their team, and a player who's willing to come to their school. They're not chasing to see, well, if I ask this kid, would he be willing to come to my school? They're waiting for those kids that really want to go to the school to contact them. So you need to push your child, especially early. Sophomore year, definitely. They should be reaching out. And don't limit it. You want to cast a much broader net. College coaches often change for better opportunities for themselves. They often switch schools. So the more schools that you've contacted, the more coaches you've been in touch with, the better the likelihood that if a new coach comes into play, that your son or daughter may have been in contact with them and still have that opportunity. That coach will still know who they are and what they've done. And don't think press clippings are enough. Because unless your child is going to a college that's right there in your community where a coach may have really actually read those press clippings, they're not scanning the newspapers. They don't care how much your child has been written up. They want to know that your child wants to come to their school and is capable of playing. And so in those communications, you have to get that across. Having video is an outstanding option to get that across, and it has to be the right video. Coaches have very short attention spans for video. So you're talking in the first 2 or 3 minutes, you have to show the absolute best quality of your work, of what you can do, of your skill set. So it's super important that your video is very intentional on what you're putting into it, that you're highlighted in the video. It's really tough for a coach to look at it and go, wait, where's number 14? Wait, is that? No, wait. Yeah. So you really have to make sure that in the video it's highlighted where you are or circled so the coach can follow you in that play. You want to show several different aspects of your skill set, of your game, so that the coach can really see what you're doing. Any updates, coach, we just won this game. I had 2 goals. I had a touchdown. I had, 20 points, whatever it is for your sport. You want to continue to reinforce your ability and that you're staying in touch with the coach. Remember, the coach has to coach you. The coach wants to know you're coachable. The coach wants to know that you're willing to communicate with him as well. So you want to make sure you get that to them and ask for their criticism. Ask for, constructive criticism. How can I get better, coach? How can I be ready to play next year? Good coaches will tell you, yes, I could see you at this level. You need to do this, this, and this. Some coaches may say, you know what? We really don't see you on our team. Don't take that personal. Don't let your child take that personal. It may just be you're not the style. You're that throwing quarterback and they're looking for somebody who's going to be handing the ball off for the running game. And again, that's just one aspect that I'm talking about because it's something that most people can relate to, regardless of the sport. So it's really important, though, that they're reaching out and doing all of that work. When we got down to it and we were negotiating offers with academic and athletic money, we basically went back to the school and said, this is where we need to be. This is where Austin needs to be. And they came through and found money in both pools to be able to put that together for him and for Austin to be able to enjoy it. It's great to go off to I need to go to a winning program. I want to go to the best program possible. But typically that means you may not be playing and you may not be rewarded as handsomely with money because only the really, really top recruits, kids who have been being recruited since as early as 8th grade now I'm seeing, 9th grade, early 10th grade, are getting those Division I offers really early as a key contributor right from the get-go. But the more you reach out, the more likely you are to find that great fit where you can pursue both athletic dreams and your academic goals and make it a win-win situation for both you and the college coach. And that's really what you're looking for because that's going to give you the best advantage. So if you would like a consultation, maybe you have a child who dreams of playing or continuing their sport in college, please hashtag KMAC in the comments and I will reach out to you with a private message and we can talk. I would be happy to help. We've helped hundreds of kids continue their sport in college and all ranges, all over the board, whether it's Division I, II, or III, or even NAIA. NAIA is just a different organization than the NCAA, completely different rules for the colleges to follow in as far as the number of scholarships and so forth. They do tend to be smaller schools, but great opportunities for kids still to continue their sport and get a great education. So if you want more information, if you want to have some help for your child to have the best opportunity to continue, hashtag KMAC in the comments and I'll reach out to you. I hope that was helpful. I hope that shed some light on the recruiting process. You cannot start too early, so please be aware of that. Be looking at what schools will be a good fit and reaching out to coaches as soon as possible and continuously reaching out, finding reasons to talk to the coach, okay? All right, you guys have a great day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy.